Chavez already has 45, 46 professional fights. They are both in the prime of their careers. You could say that Chavez Jr. has a 2-year age advantage, but frankly, that doesn't mean anything when they're 26 and 28. They're both ready for this assignment tonight. Chavez Jr. listed as 6'1" here. Lee has only 6'2", but when they stood together in publicity photos, it appeared that Lee was at least 2 inches taller than Chavez Jr., and Chavez Jr. acknowledged in our meeting yesterday that he was surprised when he first saw Andy Lee at how tall Lee is. Productions.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, bienvenidos. Welcome to Sun Bowl Stadium, University of Texas, El Paso, and the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Middleweight Championship of the World. Presented by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated in association with Zanfer Promotions and DeBella Entertainment. Sponsored by the city of El Paso, Texas, the safest city in America. Visit elpaso.com. Along with AT&T, Rethink Possible, and Tecate con Carácter. Sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, Chairman William Kuntz, Boxing Administrator Dickie Coles. And the World Boxing Council, President Jose Sullivan, Supervisor Alberto Leon. This contest is dedicated to the memory of Johnny Tapia and Teofilo Stevenson. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout. From the Philippines, Ray Danseco. From England, John Kane. And from Texas, Jesse Reyes. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, from Texas, your referee, Lawrence Cole. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are ready. Damas y caballeros, ¿están listos? Are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world on HBO, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, with Hall of Fame trainer Emmanuel Stewart wearing Kronk Gold. Official weight, 159, 1/4 pounds. This 2004 Olympian now has a professional record of 28 victories, including 20 knockouts, with only 1 defeat. He is the challenger, and he is the fighting pride of Limerick, Ireland, one of the top-ranked middleweight contenders in the world, Irish, Andy Lee. And fighting out of the red corner with his Hall of Fame trainer, Freddie Roach, officially weighing 159 pounds. As a professional, his record stands at 45 victories, including 31 knockouts without a loss, and he has 1 draw. He's the reigning, defending, undefeated WBC middleweight champion of the world, de Culiacán, Sinaloa, México, el invicto, el campeón del mundo, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Julio. Andy. All right, gentlemen, I went over earlier instructions in the dressing room. I want you to obey my commands, correct yourselves all times. Now let's have a good, clean fight and good luck. Lea limpe y buena suerte.
2 words to the judges. Effective aggression. 2 more words. Effective aggression.
I got a better idea. No judges.
May not need them.
Concussion City. These are man-sized punchers and a man-sized fight.
Role reversal at the start with Lee pressing Chavez.
Well, I kind of expected that. I just hope Andy Lee doesn't bag straight up too often, because if he does, he'll find himself sitting down.
It's regarded as a given, Roy, that Julio Cesar Chavez would have trouble winning the fight from the outside. So he's just looking for the moment when he's going to step in, or at least that's what we expect, right?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. Looks like Andy Lee is going to make it tough for him to get in, though.
Lee has a pretty good jab, excellent straight left hand, and maybe his best punch is his quick right hook. It's kind of a dream in the Lee camp. He can catch Chavez with some of those quick right hooks when Julio Cesar Chavez does not see them coming.
Yeah, I don't think that was a foul then, but...
Well, Lawrence Cole is a referee who has been frequently criticized in the boxing world. And maybe some of that criticism goes to the fact that he is the son of the chairman of the Texas State Commission, but he's had a lot of big fight assignments here in Texas, and some of them haven't gone all that well. Good quick right hook by Lee. Chavez lands the left upstairs.
You gotta love Lee's jab early, though. The jab is what's controlling the fight for him right now. If he does this all night, he can make it a long night for Chavez Jr.
Chavez comes in with a left hook. Good punch. Now Chavez begins to step into the distance where he can begin to work and do damage. Right and a left by Chavez.
And that's where Lee has to get that head down.
And goes back to working his jab. That's the first straight left hand up the middle Lee tries. Falls just a little short. Lee again lands the jab as Chavez just bull rushes. No angle. Two quick little rights by Lee. Chavez has landed punches surely in single digits this round.
Yeah, but they were pretty heavy punches, Joe.
They were.
Well, he looks like a student trying to figure out a problem on an exam. How do I get in?
But the 2 or 3 times he stepped in, he was able to land. There's a left uppercut by Lee and a couple more jabs to keep Chavez at distance. Low activity round for Chavez. When he attacked, he did well, but most of the round has been fought at distance and controlled by Andy Lee's jab.
9/10. 9/10.
Take it in the school. Just what you're doing. Just keep controlling right here. Sooner or later, you're going to catch him with that left hand. Now, he may try to come in and want to step it up. Just keep doing what you're doing. You relax, control him right here. And sooner or later, he's going to get caught with something. Fighting a beautiful fight. Beautiful. Where's the bottle at? Water. Agua, por favor. Real relax.
All right. Put a little more pressure on him, okay? All right. We gave that one away. A little more activity, okay? Get busy. Good. Yeah.
Here you see Chavez Jr. use his dad's old trick and step up and feint the right hand and come with the left hook, and boom, right on the chin. What a great shot by Chavez Jr. His best punch of the round by far.
And one of only 2 punches which CompuBox saw him landing in the round. CompuBox had Chavez 2 of 8. I don't know when I've seen a guy throw single digits in a round. Andy Lee 13 of 59, 22%. If you listen to the 2 trainers, they scored the round and made it clear how they scored it.
Without a doubt, and what you're seeing is the tall guy, Andy Lee, with the jab, controlled the fight early, because Chavez got to realize that he's going to take a punch or 2 in order to get in and land his shots. But he has to get in and land his shots and stay there once he gets there. Like that.
Again, Chavez lands the left hook right on Andy Lee's chin. There's a hole in Lee's defense. It should not be that easy for a conventional fighter to just step up and land his left hook like that.
Well, this kid has been learning boxing since he was a young kid. That was one of his father's favorite moves against a southpaw. Step the right foot up and bring the left hook, and that's what he's doing.
Lock. Stop. Step back. Clean.
Good left hand by Chavez. Now Lee pops Chavez with the jab. Keeping him occupied with the jab. Another left hook lands for Chavez. And for the first time, Chavez throws to the body.
Lee can't keep taking that big left hook from outside like that either. He has to learn to defend it.
Lee had a reputation for not fighting on the inside. He just landed a nice little uppercut on the inside, trying to change that defect in his armor. Chavez still trying to figure out the body language of Lee, the percentages of when to hold him and when to go.
Hard left hand by Lee, and another, and an uppercut. A rally by Lee.
Good left hand by Lee.
One punch was partially blocked, but the other couple landed well. Good body shot by Chavez. Uppercut lands for Lee. And early on, you're seeing how good Julio Cesar Chavez's chin is. Lee lands a couple really good shots. They don't move Chavez. He comes forward.
What you really like about Chavez, though, is that Lee's just landing his hardest shot, and now Chavez is coming to him with the hardest shots that he's been throwing tonight, especially to the body. Almost has a sense to say Lee ticked him off. See, Lee is not jabbing anymore like he was earlier. He's allowing Chavez to just walk in. He can't beat him like that. Here you see the best punch that Andy Lee has landed tonight. He threw a right jab, followed by a straight left hand with under jab, followed by a straight left hand that landed high on the head of Chavez Jr. But that shot seemed to wake Chavez Jr. up and make him realize, okay, that's enough. Now I got to get to this guy.
Second round was closer than the first. It's still a fight between the activity of Lee and some very good shots from him and the harder shots that Chavez has been able to land stepping up inside. Not as many, but eye-catchingly hard.
When Lee was 12 years old, he watched Oscar De La Hoya fight here. And by the third round, the fight was over. We never got to a third round.
One of the most unusual nights I can ever remember in boxing history. We had more than 46,000 people in the stadium that night, and to my eyes, well more than half of them were women. It's the only time I've ever been in a sports event, Roy, where I saw groups of 4, 5, and 6 women coming in here with no men. They had clearly gone and bought the tickets themselves.
Well, that was an absolutely beautiful night.
Yes, it was. And it was the height of De La Hoya's career, of course.
Good right hand by Chavez Jr. right there.
Big left hand for Lee. Chavez leaned into it.
The one thing we got to watch for here, though, is that Lee faded a little bit in the McEwen fight, in the middle parts of the fight. He cannot fade in the middle part of this fight because Chavez is only going to get stronger as this fight goes.
Lee also faded in his only loss against Brian Vera, wound up with a technical knockout loss, although he never touched the canvas. Neither fighter has ever been knocked down in his professional careers. Two good body shots from Chavez. Crowd wakes up for that. Now Chavez taking over the action as he hammers to the body again. More and more it looks, Roy, if they fight in the center of the ring, Lee has the advantage. If they go to the ropes, Chavez may have a chance to take over.
He does, and the problem is Lee is not throwing enough punches to keep him at bay, and he's not using his jab as much as he was earlier.
If he right hook for Lee, Chavez, 2 shots to the body.
Exactly. If Lee would use that jab as a stabbing pole to measure his left hand and make a good enough hand come down the pipe, then Chavez would respect him a little bit more. But he's not.
In Chavez's title-gaining win against Sebastian Spick of Switzerland about a year and a half ago, 2 judges scored the first 4 rounds against him, and a third scored it 3-1 after the first 4 rounds. He got a slow start in that fight and then rolled through the late rounds on his body shots to win a decision.
And to me, that's why they would take the Andy Lee fight, because Andy Lee always gets weak in the middle of the fight, then he comes back.
CompuBox numbers in 3. Chavez 9 of 27, 33%. Lee 16 of 58. You heard Emmanuel Stewart say that he scored the round for Lee, although he also said that he scored the second round for Chavez. Harold, how do you have it through it?
Well, I agree with Emmanuel Stewart. I got it 2 rounds to 1. Andy Lee, 29 to 28. You know, Jim, Andy Lee boxed beautifully rounds 1 and 2. Julio really didn't throw enough punches. Andy just outworked him. But in round 3, Chavez got inside, showed who's got more power in this fight. I mean, when Julio lands, he lands an awful lot harder than Andy Lee. So I thought Julio did pull out the 3rd round by, really whacking him on the inside. 2 rounds to 1, Andy Lee.
Interesting, you've got the same score as Emmanuel, but you do slightly disagree. It was the second round that Emmanuel thought Chavez had won. So now we're well into round 4.
And what you see here is Chavez is really, really trying to work Andy Lee, making him throw a lot of punches, making him use his legs a lot to try to wear him down late in the fight.
Is he still waiting and allowing Lee to be first too often?
He is waiting a little too long, but if he cuts the ring off, the waiting won't bother, it won't affect him.
All right, now let's lay out a bit and listen to Emmanuel Stewart as he calls instructions into Andy Lee.
Right back to him right there. He's getting tired, Andy. There you go.
Stop! No. Come back. Pick up the pace. Straight left one.
Right back to him. Step around.
Back. Go back.
Right back to him.
Yep, Emmanuel said right back to him, and Lee produced a 3-punch combination.
Let's go. Box.
Lawrence Cole tells Andy Lee to keep his punches up. Hard right hand by Chavez. Good, quick shot. Lee wasn't ready for it.
Get your jab back, Andy.
Cole told Lee to keep him up, but then didn't see the left hand that Chavez landed on the hip.
I don't think he's paying any attention anyway.
Uppercut by Lee. What a chin Chavez has. Took it, absorbed it, rallied back with 5 or 6 shots.
He landed his own uppercut too good, though, Jim.
Hard right hand by Chavez. Good comeback by Lee right there.
Lee is doing a good job of staying low and staying set to punch.
Body shot by Chavez, that one hurt. Good right hook by Lee. That's Andy Lee's best punch. Misses with that right hook.
They are testing each other
Hard right hand by Chavez, and another. Andy Lee's chin stands up too.
Smart boxing. If you box it, you're outboxing the guy. You don't have to fight inside, Andy. Box the man. You understand? Your head as long as you're boxing it. And get yourself together and just talk to yourself. Now, this is it, man. This ain't no second chance. Get out and box him. He's getting tired, too. You don't realize he's getting tired also. But just make him have to move and have to pivot outside. You can see his tiredness. You're leaning in there, letting him rest. Okay, get to boxing. Because he's going to get back to...
Here you see early in the round, Chavez pivots around with a right hand. Andy wasn't ready for it. Bam, right on the chin, right in the mouthpiece, you should say. Then they come back and Chavez lands a left uppercut while Andy lands a right uppercut. Both land left uppercuts. Beautiful uppercuts by both fighters.
Our punches in round 4. Chavez 22 of 48, Lee 15 of 32. That means Chavez threw no jabs in the round because that was his overall CompuBox number as well, 22 of 48. Pretty clear to me, I think that Chavez probably won the 4th round. Seems like an even fight at this point, or close to it. And you heard what Emmanuel Stewart said to Andy Lee. This is your chance. Don't let it go to waste.
Only problem we got with Andy is he got to go to the body a little bit more.
This is the bravado of a fighter named Chavez.
And the crowd loves it, but the fact is that Lee is scoring early in the round. There's a good hard left hook by Chavez, and that one hurt Lee.
And Lee is falling for what Chavez wants him to do, which is fall into a puncher's fight. That's not what he should be into, but he's falling for it.
Well, you heard Emmanuel Stewart say you don't have to fight him on the inside. But at the end of the day, in a war of wills, the body puncher usually wins that war.
Yeah, and that's why I say Andy's not going to the body enough.
And that's why Chavez is favored by about 3 to 1.
Now they touch gloves after what was apparently a headbutt. I see no blood, luckily for us.
Good body shot by Andy Lee.
That's what he needs to do.
Yeah.
That'll put him back into the round. And Lee lands on the hip, just as Chavez did a while ago. And Chavez looks at Lawrence Cole like, wait a minute.
Chavez better wake up and start throwing a few more punches, though. Because sometimes when you absorb this many big shots, it takes just as much out of you as if you had thrown the big shot.
Hard left hand by Lee. Backs Chavez off. 1-2 by Lee. Good right hook.
Lee is in front of him right now. Chavez needs to do something to get back in front of Lee like that.
Straight right hand for Chavez. He's getting much better upstairs, no question about it. The work with Freddie Roach over the course of the last 2 years, has changed Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. There's a perfect counter right hand.
It sure was.
And 2 hard body shots. Lee's been hurt twice in this round, I think.
Good double hook by Lee, though.
They're working.
They both fighting a wonderful fight.
Hard working fight.
Going in, the thought was that Lee was the bigger puncher. But Chavez has shown that he's got the chin to deal with it. Now it's vice versa. Does Lee have the chin to deal with Chavez?
Who thought Lee was the bigger puncher? Because that's who was crazy.
Well, it doesn't look that way tonight. I mean, it certainly looks as though Chavez's blows, taken individually, do more damage. But Andy Lee has landed many more punches.
He sees Chavez coming in, going down with that right hand, faking down with the right hand, come over the top with the left hook like he always does. And I'm sick of seeing him consistently land the same punch. But if you consistently get hit with that punch, it's going to hurt. And here you see him come with the right uppercut to the head, left body shot, trademark punch for him and his father.
Good round. Chavez landed 19 of 39, nearly half of his punches. Lee landed 26 of 68. That was a 38% connect rate, and Lee's high connect rate for the fight. And our judge, Harold Letterman, obviously admired the harder shots from Chavez as he gave him the round.
What do you think that Emmanuel Stewart is saying when he says he's tired? Is he concerned about Lee being tired?
Yes, he's trying to just give Lee extra confidence because if he realizes this kid's last name, they don't get tired.
Pick it up. It's hitting round the cup.
Our interpreter, Jerry Olaya, now tells us that in the corner between rounds, Julio Cesar Chavez complained to his trainer, Freddie Roach, of right leg cramps. Cramps a logical product of Julio's legendary struggles with weight.
Dehydration, not a lot of potassium in your system because you sweat it all out making the weight. So sometimes those cramps will occur.
And he couldn't produce a specimen with a drug test before the fight.
Apparently doesn't need full right leg power to throw body shots because he's hammering Lee in the corner over there once again.
Yeah, and it's taking some of the steam off of Lee's punches as you're starting to see. The body shots from Chavez are. But Lee's still going to the body good. You have to give him that credit.
Lee on the belt line. Lee 1-2 upstairs. Lee with the quick little right hook. More and more. Julio Cesar Chavez looks like a middleweight Mack truck. He seems to be more and more a middleweight with the chin of a light heavyweight and the body punching power of a light heavyweight, or super middleweight.
And the body size of a light heavyweight.
Well, he entered the ring for the last fight, unofficially weighing 180. We don't have an unofficial weight on him tonight, but he did not expect to make it all the way up to 180 tonight. He was saying it would be 73 or 74.
I believe he's close.
Well, he looks big. No question. Solid body. Good shot. Right hook by Andy Lee. Chavez walks right through it.
Good body shot by Lee. Lee's punches are starting to lose a little steam, though.
We'll be halfway through the fight at the end of this round. More and more, it's becoming a war of attrition. And winning a war of attrition with a fighter like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is very hard.
Oh, good body shot. Andy's not using straight left enough.
Hard right hand by Chavez, hard right hook by Lee. Body shots by Chavez to punctuate the round.
Just bing, bing, and get out.
Pretty simple advice from Emmanuel Stewart. Take him back to the center of the ring and box his ass. Not that easy to do.
I think he'd have done it if he could have done it.
Power punches in round 6. Chavez 24 out of 50. He's landing at about a 50% rate. Lee 20 of 47. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. I had a 58-56. 4 rounds to 2. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You know, Jim, what I judge, and I think it's the right way to judge, is who's doing more damage in a round. And Andy Lee insists on standing there head-to-head, toe-to-toe, and banging with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and he can't outbang him. Julio hits too hard. He's doing more damage in 4 rounds in a row. Andy outworked him big time in rounds 1 and 2. But I tell you, since then, 3, 4, 5, and 6, Julio gets inside, he hits him, he stabs his head back. Andy Lee looks like he's been in a war. Julio don't look like he had a mark on him. 4 to 2 Chavez.
I have it 3 each.
And Andy seems to have a swelling on that left eye now.
It's all about the power of Chavez shots. And more, Lee is being an arm puncher as Chavez hammers his body and takes his power away.
So big for a middleweight, Jim. This is what people don't understand. This is where that size differential comes into play at. When a guy's this big and leaning and banging on you and he can punch for real, it's very hard for you to match him pound for pound with punching power. And that's what Lee's trying to do, and he's not going to win the fight fighting this type of a fight.
Larry, could he have been this kind of fighter in the era when they weighed in on the day of the fight?
Well, if he wanted to fight at light heavyweight.
Chavez just lands and lands. Both body shots landed and the uppercut there. Lee's uppercut missed. And more, when Lee lands, it doesn't mean much. Chavez is just walking through it, pounding Lee to the body, hammering him against the ropes in the corner.
There he is. He's out.
He's got a knockout coming. Lee's badly hurt. Lawrence Cole's going to stop the fight. Technical knockout for Julio Cesar Chavez as he hammered Andy Lee into submission.
This was not a black eye, another black eye for boxing. That's why I said earlier, we roll on.
A brilliant fight. An amazing display of power punching by Julio Cesar Chavez. Back at the beginning of his career, Roy, the notion that he could rise to the point where he could go in and take the measure of a former Olympic star, a guy with the pedigree of Lee, was regarded as ludicrous. What a fighter he's become.
Yes, the guy has grown into a true prime-time prize fighter. Now I can't wait to see him and Martinez fight.
Brilliant finishing burst by Chavez, mixing to the body and the head, and all night long he mixed brilliantly to the body and the head. I think sometimes he surprised Lee when he would come upstairs to lead in.
Yeah, it's almost hereditary, you know. It looks so much like the old Julio Cesar Chavez of old when he's inside throwing the body shots, coming back up to the head. You don't find many fighters that can work the body like that and follow it off with headshots. Vicious headshots.
En route to the 7th round TKO, Chavez landed 31 of 54 punches in the round. Lee was 10 of 47. There was a growing gap between them as the fight went on. The gap was strength and power. Chavez's chin is remarkable. His punching power, particularly to the body, is remarkable. His punching power upstairs is getting better. Freddie Roach is polishing a diamond. Let's go to Michael Bumper for the official particulars on the TKO.
Have a stoppage of the contest at 2 minutes 21 seconds as referee Lawrence Cole steps in and calls a halt to the bout. The winner by TKO victory, still the undefeated WBC middleweight champion of the world, de Culiacán, Sinaloa, Mexico, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Well, let's take a look at final CompuBox numbers. For Julio Cesar Chavez's extremely impressive 7th round technical knockout of Andy Lee. Chavez almost matching Lee in total punches because of the furious burst down the stretch of the fight in rounds 6 and 7. He was simply amazing. Lee throwing nearly 200 more punches, but Chavez landing at that remarkable 48% overall rate. He's a very accurate puncher, even against a southpaw. And take a look at the power shots. Chavez landing 47% of his power shots. He mixed them brilliantly upstairs and downstairs. This was not just a body punching display. Andy Lee had a pretty decent night in the power punch category, but they were less and less powerful as the fight went on. This was all about the power of your shots. Let's go to Larry Merchant in the ring with Chavez Jr.
Okay, congratulations, Julio. Why did you win this fight?
Bueno, empecé a estudiarlo. Primero quería ver su pegada, qué podía hacerme. Vi que no tenía nada y me lancé enfrente sobre él.
I started to study him. I wanted to see if he had any power. I saw he didn't have anything, and that's when I came on.
That is your usual pattern.
Ese es tu patrón normal.
Did any of his punches get your attention?
Dile que cuando entré al primer round, lógicamente es un poco frío uno y siente los golpes, pero en ningún momento me hizo nada. Si te fijas, yo le puse la cara y todo para que me diera. No me podía lastimar nunca.
In the first round, maybe I was a little cold, but as you saw during the fight, I put my face out to see if he could hit me, but he never hurt me.
I asked your esteemed father if you are a man now. He said, you have the cojones.
No, dile que estoy muy contento de seguir llevando este nombre y me estoy esforzando. Quiero hacer más y dejar escrita mi historia en el boxeo. Creo que cada día me consolido más.
I'm very happy to carry the name, and I'm forcing myself every day to make history in the world of boxing, and every day I'm doing better.
Puedo decir una cosa. Dile que quiero decir algo. Mis piernas me dolieron desde el primer round. Dile, es por eso que no pude acabarlo antes. No son pretextos. No me gusta hablar de más. Pero yo lo hubiera podido noquear cuando yo quiera. Más que estaba malo de las piernas, no podía moverme.
From the first round, my legs were bothering me, and I could have knocked them out earlier. There's no excuses, but I could have knocked them out earlier if it wasn't for my legs.
You complained of leg cramps in your corner?
Sí, estaban los calambres en mis piernas. Dile que no me podía mover, es por eso estaba tan parado, cachando golpes. Es un problema que tengo de antes y me apareció aquí, pero gracias a Dios pude resolverlo y ganar.
There was some cramps, and that's why I was standing up so straight. It's something that comes from the past, though, but I was able to win.
Back in January, you said you weren't in the kind of shape to fight Martinez. Do you feel now, after this victory and these conditioning, that you want him next?
Si no tengo mis piernas porque no voy a tenerlas esa noche, lo voy a noquear para callarle la boca.
With my legs, I'm going to knock him out that night so he can shut his mouth.
Thank you. Congratulations again, Julio. Yeah. Andy, tough fight. What was he better at than you anticipated?
No, I got no excuses. He's a good fighter. My punches had no effect on him. I couldn't hold him off. A lot of punches I went through there could have hurt a lot of people, but he just walked through them. And,
so that you are a puncher, but he's got a chin that you have to beat him some other way.
And he's a big middleweight. He's heavy, you know, and it's hard to move him with my shots.
You know Martinez, you fought a lot of fights with him. You're in the same camp with him. Tell us what you think of Julio fighting Sergio Martinez.
I think it's a tough fight for Sergio, just because of the size difference. And he's a lot better than people give him credit for. He's a champion for a reason.
You said he was a good fight for Sergio, or are you saying that because of the size difference, it's a hard fight?
Hard fight for Sergio because he's a big fighter. He's got a big heart and a good chin, and I give him I tip my hat to him. He's just a good champion.
Thank you, Andy, for a brave fight. Jim?
Well, there was a perception even coming into this year that Chavez Jr. was still being protected, and particularly that he was being kept away from legitimate middleweight champion Sergio Martinez. But now, promoter Bob Arum seems very anxious to go forward toward the fight, says that he has a verbal agreement with Lou DiBella, who promotes Martinez to make the fight happen. Martinez has been brilliant and is number 3 on most pound-for-pound list, but he still describes himself as basically a junior middleweight, 154-pound fighter by nature, fighting and dominating in the middleweight division. Is he big enough to actually beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? It's a fascinating question, which we hope to see answered this fall. Meanwhile, earlier tonight, we invited you to watch the replay of Pacquiao Bradley and then cast your vote for who you thought won the fight on our HBO Boxing Facebook poll. Let's take